there has been an epidemic on men going from this into this. Here are the 5 qualities that men have adopted in 2025 that have feminized them. If you have any of these qualities, it's time to detox, brother, because we're about to get rid of them right now. Number 1, validation seeking. If you are a man, you have no business seeking validation, whether that's in person, whether that's posting online, whether that's an Instagram story to get some likes. And you want to know why? Because validation is a female sport. Don't believe me? Why do women put on makeup? Why do they go on Instagram and post their body so other people can see them? Why? Because biologically, it's still hardwired, regardless what their belief system is. Biology doesn't change. They are still seeking validation in order to get the courtship of certain men. So they are posting in order for them to attract a mate who will come and take them and give them a good life and give them kids and give them a marriage and give them everything that their biological needs require. But if you work in an office job, or you're a lawyer, or you're a whatever else you're doing that doesn't require social media to make it in that game, you have no business looking for validation online. That is what women do. And you do not want to become a woman. Number 2, reactive behavior. Now this one is a big one because most of you are going to think reactive behavior means you're reacting as a wuss, or you're reacting like, oh no, you're just always reacting in that way. But no, it's not just that. That is the obvious, right? Reaction can be you flipping a table in anger and screaming and yelling and pumping your chest out like Tarzan. That is still reactive. That is still feminine. Why? You're just expressing anger because you're a man. But really, what it really means underneath the surface subconsciously is that you are weak and that you are affected. That somebody got under your skin. That somebody was able to provoke you, to instigate you, to control you, to overreact. If you are a man, your job is to remain fully sovereign. Fully sovereign means you are in control of your emotions. That does not mean don't feel anything. It just means you are in control of them. That means you feel those things, but make the choice to not act on them. And that, my friends, is what being a man is. Number 3, people-pleasing behavior. You all know this guy, the yes man. The guy who says yes to everything. Why? Because he doesn't want to rock the boat. He'll agree, and even if it compromises his own ideals. He'll tell his boss what his boss wants to hear because he wants to keep his job. He is willing to sacrifice his own ideals in order to appease other people. When you do that as a man, I know that some of you have witnessed this. You ever see that guy who never gets treated with respect? He's that guy that like the girls kind of go, ugh, whatever. And other guys don't really give him the time of day, the kind of respect. They're very short with him. He never really gets what he wants if he's in the workforce. He just kind of settles for every position he ends up in. That is officially a man who is a people pleaser. Here's the thing, if you don't become a people pleaser, if you actually become a man, you might lose a job. But you know what? Because of that foundation, what's going to happen to you is you're going to find a more powerful job. Isn't that ironic? So you sit there and your number one fear was not to rock the boat nor to lose something, but then you end up getting something better because you're attached to your ideals. You stand for something. You stand for integrity. You stand for your ideologies, and you hold on to your principles no matter what. Number 4, and this is a huge one. Do not be a slave. Pleasure. If you are a slave to your desires, if you are a slave to sex, to porn, to alcohol, to women, the more things you are a slave to, the more external things in your life control you. Think of it this way. If you are a slave to your cigarette that's in your pocket, for example, here's the scary part. What is more powerful? You or the cigarette? You would say you, obviously, right? Because you're a human. A cigarette is inanimate. But what if I told you that the cigarette is smoking you? You are not smoking the cigarette. Why? Because you wanted to quit, you just can't. Which means that something inanimate has a stronger frequency than you. When you become a slave to pleasure, congratulations, you are completely vulnerable to manipulation. This goes from women who will see you as weak, but if you're not and you've conquered your own desires fully, there is not a single woman on this planet that can manipulate you. Number 5, fear of failure. The most number one comment that I seem to get since I started this channel is, I don't know where to begin. I'm still trying to figure it out. Every single one of those comments from those individuals are all people who are scared to fail. It's okay to be wrong. In order for you to find your mission in life, you gotta fail at a bunch of things, man. If you are a man of action and you are not scared to fail, you will move through 2, 3, maybe even 4 career paths before you find something that fully excites you, that gets you going. So what happened? You failed in those other areas, so what? The year period that you took to move through those 4 careers, there is another gentleman who's got a fear of failure who is still sitting in analysis paralysis. Why? Because he's scared to fail. But you're supposed to fail. You are literally, there's not a single human being on this earth that has not failed. Everybody in the world who's accomplished anything significant, all of them have failed in order to get there. Stop using a fear of failure as an excuse to sit in analysis paralysis, because it will take your life and take your time. Till next time, ciao.